Finn hasn't always been the hero we know. He's lived another life, one full of mistakes and regret. But what happens if we never embrace the burden of our past and keep going about our lives, just dragging it along? For Finn, that answer was buried deep in the vault. The vault is the place in Finn's mind where he represses emotions and memories that he's not ready to deal with yet. One of those memories dates all the way back to Season 3's episode of The Creeps. In the episode, Finn started seeing a ghost lady with flowing green hair, eyes hollow yet full of something, regret, longing, unfinished business. She continued phasing through walls, filling the room with her endless hair, scaring Finn away, so he ran, bursting through the wall in terror, only to be relieved later when it's revealed that Jake is the one scaring him. But when he questions Jake on what just happened,
"Wow, you got me again. I can't believe that. With the hair and the house coming alive and stuff?"
Jake regresses.
Yeah, nah, you must have been so scared you imagined that part.
Finn isn't too sure about that, as we can see the doubt on his face when flying away on Lady Rainicorn. He sees only one way to deal with this trauma.
That one's going in the vault. And it's gone.
But just burying the memory deep inside his subconscious didn't get rid of the ghost lady. She surfaced again a season later, where after being hypnotized by King Worm, Finn could only save himself by destabilizing the hypnosis by facing his deepest fears. And the ghost lady? She was one of them. Subconsciously, Finn knew he still had to face that trauma, but he had no idea why. It would take another season before Finn encountered her again, but this time, she wasn't just lurking, she was invading his mind. In a nightmare, the ghostly figure wrapped the room again in its endless hair, suffocating the space around Finn. He panicked, struggling against the invisible grip.
She's got me! She's got me!
His screams shattered the quiet night, but before the ghost could consume him, a heavy slap jolted him back to reality.
Yo, bro, you're sleepwalking again. Wake up! Whoa.
Jake was standing over him, shaking his head. This wasn't the first time. Every night, Finn had been mumbling in his sleep, tossing, turning, repeating the same thing.
She's got me!
Jake wasn't worried about ghosts. He was worried about Finn. After asking him to remember what his nightmare was about, Finn told him it was already too late and that the memory was gone. But Jake knew better.
You're repressing the memory, dude.
Jake explains that Finn locks away memories that he can't deal with inside his subconscious, the vault.
Okay, so you even know you're doing it.
Yeah.
Finn even knows he's doing that, but he's not ready to face his past trauma just yet. He just laughs it off. Jake is done with it though. He knows that if this ghost keeps following him, there must be something in the vault that's trying to get out. Not shortly after that, Jake tricks Finn into using BMO's Regression Simulator, a program designed to unlock the buried memories.
And I downloaded a new game on BMO.
Regression simulator? Okay.
The moment Finn presses the button,
Start.
everything changed. At first it was just flashes, then the memories snapped into focus. Finn wasn't Finn anymore, he was something else. A comet, a butterfly, and then the ghost lady named Shoko. A past version of him that never had the luxury of being a hero. She was born into a world of desperation, raised not with love, but necessity. Her parents, if you could even call them that, didn't see her as a child, but as currency.
Yeah, they stole everything I had, but that's okay. My parents always told me that simple possessions aren't the most important things in life.
They sold her arm for a computer, leaving her with nothing but a stump and a vague promise that they would return. But they never did. Left at a dojo to fend for herself, Shoko learned to fight, to survive. She became a thief, not out of malice, but out of sheer necessity. She didn't steal for power or pleasure. She stole because she had no other choice. She wasn't alone though. Somewhere along the way, she found a companion. A tiger, one of Jake's past lives, just as lost as she was. The two of them roamed the wastelands of Ood together, scraping by, taking whatever work they could find. And then she took the wrong job. The Bath Boy Gang, a group of petty criminals, had a proposition, a high-stakes heist, one that could set Shoko up for life, if she succeeded. She just had to steal a necklace, but it wasn't just any necklace. It was an amulet worn by the ruler of the Candy Kingdom, Princess Bubblegum.
You pull this off, and I'll let you join my gang.
That's okay. I'll just work for coin.
Shoko took the job as she didn't have the luxury of saying no. She played it smart. Instead of sneaking in under the cover of night, she knocked herself unconscious outside the kingdom walls, letting herself be rescued and taken inside. It worked better than she could have imagined.
Hey, you're up. I thought you might be hungry.
Bubblegum took her in, not as a prisoner, but as a guest. And for the first time, Shoko experienced kindness. PB gave her food, shelter, and most importantly, purpose. The two bonded, working together on the creation of the first Gumball Guardians.
Whoa. What are they?
The Gumball Guardians. Want to help me finish them?
Yeah.
Day after day, Shoko helped Bubblegum refine the Guardians, perfecting their design. And then, in an act of pure generosity, Bubblegum gave Shoko something she had long since accepted she would never have again. Was it the amulet?
No. No, dude, I made you a thing.
It was an arm, a mechanical masterpiece built just for her. For the first time in her life, someone had given her something with no strings attached.
No, it's awesome. I can't believe it.
But Shoko did have strings. As she fitted the new arm onto her shoulder, the truth sank in. The Bath Boy gang was waiting, and they weren't the kind to be patient. She couldn't back out. If she refused the job, she would never get another chance. But stealing from Bubblegum, after everything she had done for her, felt worse than death. So she hesitated. She spent one last day in the Candy Kingdom trying to ignore the sinking feeling in her gut. But in the end, she caved in. That night, she crept into Bubblegum's chambers, mechanical fingers shaking as she reached for the amulet. But before she could take it,
I knew it. Princess, you are getting jacked.
a Gumball Guardian caught her in the act. She ran, but not without taking the amulet first. Lasers were fired. The last thing she saw was the edge of the radioactive river, and then she plunged straight into it.
Get her out of there, quick!
Yes, Mom.
The Guardians reached for her, but it was too late. Their hands melted before they could pull her out. The waters burned Shoko, her skin twisted, her body mutating into something unnatural. She crawled onto the riverbank, her new arm gleaming in the moonlight. As she clutched the amulet she had stolen, the victory was meaningless. Her last sight before death was a tiny sapling growing beside her. That sapling would become the tree that Finn and Jake's home was built upon, and her body would remain there, forgotten, until Finn finally remembered. That's when Finn's eyes snapped open. The memory of Shoko faded, but its weight remained. The dream wasn't just a vision of the past. It was a weight pressing on his chest. He had lived another life, a life of mistakes, a life of regret. But one thing stood out above all. Shoko never let go of the amulet. Her bones had been resting in the treehouse, her spirit lingering, unable to move on. Finn understood now. She was waiting for him to make things right. If Finn wanted to set her free, he had to finish what she started.
The past must be reckoned with.
Without hesitation, he called up PB. After she arrived, he did some quick home renovations, ripping the wooden planks open and revealing what had been buried for hundreds of years. Princess Bubblegum's lost amulet, resting in the skeletal hands of the girl who once stole it. Finn reaches down. The ghost of Shoko lingers in the treehouse as he carefully lifts the amulet and hands it back to PB.
Okay, here you go.
PB clutches the amulet close. For all the centuries that had passed, for all the wars of chaos and rebuilding, she had never forgotten the girl who had once stood beside her. And just like that, the haunting presence fades. Shoko lifts a hand and gives Finn a thumbs up. Her mechanical arm also returned. Once a reminder of her mistakes, it's no longer a burden, just a part of her past.
My vault feels lighter.
Shoko's story wasn't just a cool past life revelation. It was Adventure Time showing us something deeply human. We carry our past with us, whether we acknowledge it or not, and we bury things that we don't want to face. But they never truly disappear. That's how AT always played with the idea of fate. From the cosmic comet to the cyclical nature of heroes, Finn's life was never just his own. But here's the real question. Are we just repeating history, or do we have the power to change it? Shoko's fate was tragic. She lived as a thief, died with regret, and haunted Finn because she never got the chance to make things right. Finn had that chance, and he took it. By uncovering the truth, by returning the amulet, by acknowledging Shoko's existence, he did something she never got to do. He found closure. Finn's vault wasn't just some mystical brain trick. It was realistic. How many times do we lock away memories we don't want to deal with? How many times do we push things deep down, thinking that if we forget about them, they'll stop affecting us? Maybe it's an embarrassing moment from childhood, something so small, but it still creeps up on you when you least expect it. Maybe it's a friendship that ended on bad terms, something you tell yourself you're over, but every time you hear their name, there's that uncomfortable twinge in your gut. Maybe it's losing someone you never got to say goodbye to, so instead of processing the grief, you push it away, pretending it doesn't bother you. But Adventure Time shows us the truth. The past doesn't disappear. It waits, and sooner or later, it finds a way back. For Finn, it was a ghost, a literal piece of himself forcing him to remember. For us, it's old regrets, unfinished conversations, guilt we never dealt with. It's that feeling of dread before a high school reunion. It's the tightness in your chest when you see an old photo. It's the dreams that bring back things we thought we'd forgotten. We tell ourselves that we're over things, that time has healed them, that we've moved on. But moving on doesn't mean ignoring the past. It means acknowledging it, learning from it, accepting it. And when we face those things, when we open the vault, we finally get to move forward. Some memories are buried, some stories fade, but the past always finds a way back. And speaking of Adventure Time's past lives, if you thought Finn's past life was heartbreaking, wait until you hear about the tragedy of Ice King, how he lost his sanity, and how he got it back in a way that left him even more empty than before. Click here to uncover the full story of how Simon Petrikov became the Ice King and returned to his former self.